guys, Jeff the Nature Guy here at Zoo Montana, and I want to talk about this beauty. Well, beauty in the eye of the beholder. It may be not so beautiful to some of you, but what a cool animal. This, of course, is the cane toad, or often called the marine toad. And here's the problem. This is a cool animal, but they can cause some problems, and not only here in the US, but especially in places like Australia. And the biggest reason is, back in the early 1900s, they actually brought 3,000 of these guys to the continent in order to take care of a beetle problem that was happening in their sugar fields. Well, problem is, these guys took off, and they just started breeding, and they started actually making their home in Australia, and there are now millions of these guys in Australia. The problem is, they're pushing out a lot of native species, causing a lot of havoc in that continent. Just crazy. Now, the other bad thing about these guys is, believe it or not, they're poisonous. Right behind their eye here, you see that dark little circle? That's called a parotoid gland, and that's actually where they secrete their poison. And the problem is, that is a pretty toxic substance, and if you were to swallow it, it's going to cause you problems. And believe it or not, there are times that humans are killed by the cane toad because humans try to eat them or even their eggs, and that can lead to some pretty bad problems like death. More often than not, it's the pets that actually fall victim more frequently, things like dogs that are eating these guys in the backyard. So if you're watching from the southern part of the US, places like Florida and what have you, watch your pets, because believe it or not, they can fall victim to this homely little toad. Now remember, he is a toad, so he's not going to spend a lot of his time in the water, more of a land-dwelling animal. And of course, he is an amphibian as well. And you remember me talking about these amphibians. They're so important because they breathe through their skin. So they're what we call an environmental indicator, meaning if there's a pollutant in the air or a toxin in the air, these are the guys that are going to figure that out first of all. They're going to start dying off. And that's going to alarm us, knowing something is wrong in the environment. So as ugly as these animals might be, they really are an important species to all of us as humans, which is a pretty cool thing to remember. But nonetheless, this guy, his name is Cheech. He's a pretty good animal. He's going to be about 3 pounds when he's full grown, if you can imagine that. So he's always fun to watch. He doesn't move very much on exhibit, but nonetheless, pretty cool to see how big he's going to get over time. Guys, until next time, I am Jeff the Nature Guy here at Zoo Montana with Cheech, our marine toad.